Mike. Whoa. Hey, guys. How's it
Hold
going?
on. What a little echoey over there, Tanner.
Whoa.
What the hell?
Wanna join the military?
How's it going, everybody?
What kind of what did you do to the audio?
Test. Yeah, we're good. Mike, guess what week it is?
It is Super Bowl week.
Let's get it going.
Gentlemen, boys and girls, it is Super Bowl week. This is Mike Settle over here at the Sports Buffoons, along with Tanner Dawson and Jason JG. What's up, guys?
What's going on, guys?
What up, y'all? This is JG.
Y'all excited for Chiefs Buccaneers Super Bowl? We have a big show today.
I'm super pumped right now. You have no idea. All week.
Sure.
Very excited, and I'm also scared shitless at the same time.
Oh yeah, scared shitless. Well, it is currently Wednesday night. If you're listening on Spotify, you're coming out Thursday morning. If you're following along here with us on YouTube, or are we on Twitch right now, Tanner, as well?
We're on Twitch, YouTube, Twitter, which is Periscope, and Facebook Live on my page.
Then you know we're all about running it back, as you can see with our sign right now here up on our video feed. So one thing we're going to dig into a lot of different topics today, as a matter of fact. This will be primarily based around the Super Bowl 55 down in Tampa Bay between the Chiefs and Buccaneers. But the main thing is I've never been to Tampa Bay. So it's one of those places that I've heard a lot about. I don't know a lot about it, but what the cool thing about this game is the Buccaneers are the first team ever to get to play a Super Bowl in their home city.
It's very cool. That's very historic.
But here's the part that sucks for them. During a COVID year, you're going to have less people from the actual city get to go to the game compared to normal. So
Do you know what's even worse about it? They can't shoot off the cannons. The NFL banned the cannons from firing.
why would they ban
Because
the
they want to
cannons?
make it a neutral field.
Oh,
The cannons
no.
would be fun to see.
Well,
during the Super
why
Bowl.
don't we just bring out, we have the war paint, run around there and everything like that. We can equal it out that way.
We'll be fine.
The Chiefs are going to be wearing their red jerseys, by the way, during this game, while the Buccaneers are wearing their whites.
Thanks,
so
Tampa.
it's gonna look like we're the home team anyway over in Kansas City. So, anyways, Jason, what do you know about Tampa Bay? Anything that stands out to you about the city before we dig into some more things?
I've been there a couple times. I enjoyed it. They've got Busch Gardens over there, which is a pretty awesome theme park. And they also have some pretty awesome strip clubs. Some might say that they are the number 2 capital of the world as far as strip clubs. Now, I would say that the city of Portland has always been number 1 in strip clubs, but they've been torching that city, so maybe the strip clubs don't exist anymore. Anyway, I've got a question for any of you guys out there in the Twitter sphere. Do you know if the strippers, do they have to wear masks during a lap dance? Because I really wanted to know that before I head on over there. And maybe we can get Pac-Man Jones on the show one of these days to discuss that.
Well, Jason, you are going to Florida, and we all know how Florida is. They have Florida Man. So there's no mask being used. Let's be real. They're probably snorting bath salts in the bathroom and going to a lap dance. Like, let's be real.
Now, does this mean we're having a debate over which city has more broken daughters between Portland and Tampa Are we just full of fake tans and big breasts and broken daughters? Is that Tampa Bay?
No, I want to give props to Tampa because it's not as bad of a city as people say it is. I mean, I've been there, like I said, a couple times, and I enjoyed it. So there's not a ton of things to do, but like I said, we all like strippers on this show, so that would be my go-to if I'm going to Tampa.
Have you been to Portland, though, Jason? Have you been to Portland?
I have not been to Portland,
okay.
And I'm not planning on going there anytime soon because it's on fire.
Correct. I've heard it's a very depressing place, and so I assume that whenever they get done giving you a lap dance, either she cries or you cry, or you just listen to her talk about her broken dad that never was there for her. So that'll be probably what's going on in Portland most of the time. But that's an interesting take. So that's what you know most about Tampa Bay is strippers.
Yep, and they have Busch Gardens as a theme park, which I enjoy.
Busch Gardens, everybody.
Well, everybody knows about the beaches. I mean, they're on the Gulf Coast, so there are some amazing beaches just outside of Tampa.
Yeah, that is true. I get that point at least. Otherwise, I don't know a whole lot about it at all. I mean, what do you know about Tampa Bay, Tanner?
Nothing. I went to Orlando for Disney World on my honeymoon, and then we went on a cruise out to the, around the Caribbean area. I'm good. I don't need to know anything about Tampa.
Well, I do want to point something out, getting away a little bit from Tampa Bay, the city, but what'd you guys think of the haircut gate that came out today? Dan Kilgore and Demarcus Robinson were quickly placed on the COVID list, which they're going to be fine. But the barber that came into Tampa Bay to cut up to 20 players' hair, including Patrick Mahomes, was on the list. He was going to be cutting out half the team's hair, it seems like, as well as staff members. He apparently had been quarantined for about a week, but then tested negative 5 times for COVID. But then in the middle of a haircut, supposedly, they find a positive test for this barber who was in the middle of cutting Dan Kilgore's hair, and so was immediately removed. And so they apparently it saved a bunch of important players from being put on the list, other than Robinson and Kilgore. But Tanner, does this seem a little fishy to you? Why are they waiting for a test result and letting the barber go out and go ahead and start cutting hair before you get the result back in?
It is fishy. If it's really not a prank or anything, then it's just sad to hear that happened during Super Bowl week to allow this to happen. First off, from the Chiefs organization, we got to be smarter than this, guys.
Well, it sounds like they did everything right. It just, I honestly, if you want to know my real opinion, I think that whatever positive test they found was a false positive, because they did test him again afterwards and it was a negative.
So Tom Brady's just pulling stuff.
It was one random false positive, in my opinion, that ended up being not a big deal whatsoever. So, but yeah, maybe it was Brady and Belichick back together for a minute and scheming up ways to mess with the Chiefs. But honestly, I can't imagine them playing the game if we had 20 players go on COVID list. That would be insane.
Well, they weren't going to play the game if you had one player on that list by the name of Patrick Mahomes and or Tom Brady.
Right.
They wouldn't have played the game. But my point is, I mean, haircut gate was funny, but I mean, the NFL does not want the Super Bowl to be tainted, so it doesn't matter who pops up on that list unless it's like one of the reserve players. The NFL doesn't have the balls to keep a key player out of this game because they want it to be a fair game with everybody available. Mm-hmm. And so, like, I don't really care who's on the list because if it was a major player, they would either postpone the game or, something else. But they wouldn't just not allow the guy to play.
Yeah, so let's give the NFL credit, too. So they did this COVID year. We got to this point, guys. We got to this point. We played every day of the week, but we got to this point. Guess what the percentage of players during the whole year, what the percentage is for the entire players tested positive?
I would say there was, as far as percentage that tested positive.
That tested positive.
I would say probably around 1.5%.
Jason?
Oh, maybe like 2%.
Okay.
0.08, guys.
0.08. That is above the legal limit for alcohol.
That's right at it, dude. Right at it, man. So, guys, the 0.08% the NFL did with all the COVID stuff. And you know what? Props to them, baby. Because they did it. We got to this point, and we were playing a Super Bowl on Sunday.
Yeah, well, it wasn't as low as the NBA during the bubble. Guess what percentage they had?
Zero.
You got a freaking bubble, all right?
I think the NFL did great pretty much all year, and so did baseball. MLB throughout the summer as well. You know more about the NBA than I do, Jason, but overall, I'm pretty happy with the way things turned out. We got a full season in. Every game was played at the end of the day. And here we are with the Super Bowl, and no one to worry about as far as COVID-related illnesses going on.
Agreed.
So that is awesome. And I hope that the guys who did choose to sit out, like for the Chiefs, Larry Duvernay-Tardif, and as well as Damian Williams, I hope those guys are still happy with their choices. And I think they are.
I think they are.
They made them for very strategic reasons. So
Yes.
the Chiefs did just fine without them. There's no worries there.
Very unselfish reasons.
Now, we have a lot to dig into with this Buccaneers-Chiefs Super Bowl game. That is going to be the core of our show today. I want to ask you guys one question, just kind of what you think about the game. We're going to take a minute to talk about something different, and then we're going to jump back into the Chiefs a little bit later on in the show. But what's the number one thing about this game that you're most concerned about with the Chiefs-Buccaneers? What is your worry? What is the most thing you're interested in? Anything come to mind?
Oh,
Yeah.
worrisome to me?
Just a quick recap of what your mind is at with this game before we dig into it later on.
Look, man, I'm in full positive. Like, I'm ready to go. We're going to dominate these guys. I'm tired of all this Twitter hate, the Twitter hate that we see against the Chiefs all the time, even from our own fans, let alone. Come on, Twitter Nation. Guys, we are playing the Super Bowl. We got Patrick Mahomes, Tyreek Hill, the best offense. Our defense is playing lights out. Like, let's go. I'm ready. I have no worries right now. No worries.
Yeah, I mean, I think everybody out there that's been keeping track of this, they all have the same concern, which is the Chiefs' offensive line trying to deal with Shaq Barrett and Jason Pierre-Paul, who they did each have one sack in that last game that we played Tampa in the regular season. But, I mean, outside of that elite pass rush of Tampa Bay, I really don't have any concerns in this game.
Yeah, you're right. They had 48 sacks total in the NFL this year, which ranks them fourth in the league, as well as a great run defense. It's going to be real tough to go against that. But yeah, my main concern is the Chiefs' offensive line. We've got 4 out of 5 guys this year who were not intended to be starters throughout the season, and who ended up having to come in and step in, especially now that both tackles, Eric Fisher and Mitchell Schwartz, are going to be out. That'll be interesting to deal with, as you said, with Pierre-Paul and Barrett.
Like Andy Reid said, they got some scrappy guys, and they'll figure it out.
Why
They did it earlier this season. We were down almost every starter but Fisher, I think, at some point, and we took care of it. So I'm not worried about it. We got some good depth, I think.
They seem confident, and I luckily we have a quarterback who's very mobile, so
Take care of that, too.
helps a lot as far as pocket awareness, because I don't think Alex Smith would survive in this game, to be honest. So luckily we have
We wouldn't be at this point.
we have a
Let's put it
kid.
there.
We have a kid. He's a baby goat as our quarterback. So, Jason, is there anything you wanted to talk about here as far as something to highlight that was important to you coming up here this coming weekend?
Well, I mean, you could talk about comparing eras if that's where you want to go with it.
Okay.
So, got a lot of people trying to tell me that you can't compare players from different eras, specifically in the NFL and the NBA. And I believe that to be BS. I think that you can compare players from different eras. However, if you disagree with me on this, I think by the end of this year's Super Bowl, you will be able to compare Brady to Mahomes, even though they will have played in 2 different eras. So, just in general, guys, what are your thoughts on comparing players from different eras?
It's tough, man. It's tough because it's two different, I don't know, just games being played. It really is. Like, there's so much different training going on every century, even every 5 years, there's so much different going on. So many new players, so many new talents, for instance, NBA, right? Big guys are all starting to shoot at the 3 when that wasn't a big thing maybe 30, 40 years ago. So you got to think, like, a lot of transition comes into play, new game, new strategies come into play, and then you get new talent.
Yeah, I think you can compare eras, absolutely, as long as you come at it with the right mindset. And you got to be willing to understand the rules of the game at the time, as well as the idea of, like, let's say Jim Brown, who played in the 1950s and 60s for the Cleveland Browns, and we all recognize him as being a top 3 running back of all time. Now, imagine Jim Brown, or even someone like who you love, Bo Jackson, being put in today's world where we have advanced nutrition and advanced workout regimens, and just everything that helps you even become a better athlete than you already are, as well as training purposes, as well as like just a better strategic way of going about the game. Coaches are better now than they were 40 years ago. So I think the things evolve just like we've always evolved mechanically and electrically and everything else that goes on in the world that we've created. Airplanes are better, cars are better. Well, it's like, whenever I say cars are better, I mean, we assume when we look at a 2020 Tesla, that's probably better than your 1970 Ford.
Mike, you got the nerds involved now, man. The nerds are coming out and they're getting involved on these games.
I'm fine with the nerds.
This management, the scouting.
Everything's different.
The nerds are out now, and the nerds are sports people.
Right. Everything is different now. Scouting's better now than it ever was before. And also the rules of the games take everything into account if you can come at this logically and not just emotionally. Like, I personally think Terry Bradshaw is one of the most overrated quarterbacks of all time. Despite the Super Bowl wins, which he was carried by with a great running game, good receivers, and an amazing defense, if you look at his numbers, he was pretty awful. In fact, he had just as many interceptions as he did touchdowns in his career. But, I mean, if you take a guy like that and you put him through the structure of what we do here in 2010, 2020, and so on, the guy's going to become a better athlete and understand the game better mentally, even though he did have mental health problems actually when he was younger. But I think that you can compare eras as long as you're smart about the way you go about it. Like for me, I personally believe Dan Marino, as we both agree on, would have been even more amazing here 30 years later if you played in the NFL in 2020 versus in 1983 to 1999.
58.
But I mean, I just think that the talent-wise, he threw 48 touchdowns just 2 years into the NFL. And that's amazing. And that was in the 80s. And so imagine him playing in a day like where we have Drew Brees, who has consistently been putting up, great numbers, 4,000 yards passing every year minimum, as well as, 30 to 40 touchdowns every season, stuff like that. And now take an amazing talent, arm talent like Dan Marino, put him in today's world, he might have thrown 60 touchdowns. And so it's very possible. And I think you can compare them, though, as long as you're smart about it. And so, I mean, what is your point about that, Jason? Why do you want to bring that up?
I only want to bring it up is because, you can't compare eras. I mean, it always comes up. You have to talk about LeBron James because any sports topic, you have to bring up LeBron. And so a lot of guys out there are saying that this Super Bowl coming up with Brady versus Mahomes is basically the same thing as if LeBron would have faced Michael Jordan in a game, which never happened. Now, my problem with that comparison is that, first of all, 3 of the 4 guys that I just mentioned have winning records in the Super Bowl and or the finals. One of them has a losing record in the finals.
Well, I thought we were talking about talent here, not like who's better talently.
Well, it's just a bad comparison. But if you wanted to do a similar comparison, Kobe Bryant actually did face Michael Jordan in the All-Star game.
Yeah.
And Jordan was only 35, so not quite as old as Brady, but they faced each other in the 1998 All-Star game. So I think that's a better comparison since they played in 2 different eras, but they actually played against each other, which is kind of like what Brady is going to do versus Mahomes. Just to point it out, what happened in that All-Star game? Well, Michael Jordan's team won, and Michael Jordan won the MVP. So he torched Kobe, although Kobe was pretty young back then. Jordan became the oldest player ever to win an All-Star game MVP at age 35.
Yeah, but there's 2 different body sizes amongst these monsters, first off. I don't know if you've seen LeBron in his late age, but the guy is probably more beastlier than he's ever been in his career. And he's probably playing the best he's ever played in his career at this point. Now, Jordan, yes, he was dominant. He won the title right before he retired. He probably had 4 or 5 more years he would have played. But, man, it's such a different game. I feel like it's more fast, in a way, more fast-paced. But there's, I don't know, it's just a total different game going on with LeBron versus when Michael played.
Yeah, that's all true. But the other reason I bring up LeBron is because I'm kind of comparing this Bucks team with the Miami Heat of 2011. And 2011 was LeBron's first full season with the Heat, so it kind of reminds me of Tom Brady here with the Bucks. First full season with his team. And LeBron made the finals that season, just like Tom Brady's making the Super Bowl. And so a lot of people say that LeBron couldn't win the finals in his first year because the team chemistry wasn't 100% at that point. Now, LeBron did come back and win it the next 2 years, but we also know that that was the year when LeBron James melted down in the finals. Now, I don't see Tom Brady melting down in this game, but I do think the Chiefs have a significant advantage in this game because of their team chemistry, and they've just played together longer. And so do you guys agree that team chemistry gives the Chiefs an advantage in this game?
By far.
Absolutely.
I think that's the number one reason why they should be favored more than 3 points going into this game.
Well, we talked about that before the season started.
Yeah.
Due to COVID and everything
All
else
your
that was going on,
returns.
we had the majority of the team coming back. I think 19 of 22 came back as far as starters. And the thing is, as far as receivers especially, everyone came back. Sammy Watkins came back, even though he's been injured throughout half
Most
of the
year.
season. But it was more the chemistry of the team because every coach came back as well.
Yeah.
And so the Chiefs had that going for them where we didn't need to have a lot of practices. Chiefs did not need to have practices in June or July to be prepared. They all knew each other already. They knew how they play together. And so that was the biggest advantage for the Chiefs, which we all knew. It's why I picked them to win 14 games at the beginning of the season. Because I knew we would be way above everyone else
Correct.
at the get-go of this season. And
Which we were.
the Buccaneers, on their hand, are a team that comes a little bit differently. They got a veteran quarterback, obviously, with Brady, but
Yeah,
they still have a great receiving core with Godwin and
great receiver.
Evans
You add
and
Antonio Brown later
and add
in.
Antonio Brown,
Yeah.
who ended up actually being pretty effective here towards the end of the season, and Gronk, of course.
Leonard Fournette during our draft.
So you got familiarity with the Buccaneers as well. And that is part of my point about that is that Brady came along, but he brought along two of his favorite targets because regardless of his 2 games played in New England, Antonio Brown and Brady got along great. Brady loves a talent like Brown. And so he brought along Gronk, he brought along Brown, and then guys like Chris Godwin just fit well with his style of play. But, yeah, the Chiefs' chemistry, especially defensively, is important too.
Yeah, that's another reason why I think that Tom Brady he's playing with house money here. I mean, it's amazing at age 43 with, only having 1 season and no preseason to build chemistry with this team to make it as far as he did. And at this point, he has nothing to lose. And this is not going to tarnish his legacy. I mean, he just won an NFC championship game, first year on the team. And so I think, like I said, he has limited expectations here. I'm not saying they can't win, but if the Chiefs blow him out by, 15 or 20 points, it's not going to tarnish his legacy at all.
So you think 6-4 is an okay record as a quarterback in the Super Bowl?
Well, it's better than 4-6, which
Well, yeah.
is the other guy that we just talked
But
about.
also, LeBron James.
Yeah,
That's right. That is true.
that's a whole lot better
Very
than
much.
4-6.
Yeah, 7 games on
very
1
much.
game. 7 games versus 1 game in the title. Sure.
Well, 7 games actually proves more of the true winner or loser. One
But-
game can be fluky.
Yeah, but you're still 6-4.
David Tyree with that helmet catch. I don't know about flukiness like that.
You're still 6-4, and then the other guy's 4-6. So I mean, I don't know. That a lot of people consider. Many people out there, in fact, I could say most people consider LeBron James to be the greatest player of all time, and so he's 4-6. So if Brady's 6-4, then how do you say? Nobody could say that this is going to tarnish his legacy if he loses.
It won't. First year on a new team, and he goes out at 43 years old.
Kidding me? The guy's 40. Yeah, he's 43
Win or
years
lose,
old.
he's playing with house money.
It doesn't
like Jason
matter.
said. Yeah.
It doesn't matter. He's already ranked number 1, so it doesn't matter. Now, real quick on the chemistry thing, full credit to Tom Brady, Bruce Arians, and all those guys involved in the organization, because you don't just get into the playoffs with a brand new quarterback, no offseason, no virtual training camp or whatever, and get to the Super Bowl going through the Saints, going through the Packers, Packers are on fire, getting through the Saints, who you lost to twice, not very nicely either throughout the year. To get through there, you play 3 games, now you're in the Super Bowl. Props to Brady, props to Arians, and props to organization in Tampa Bay to get to this point and get the fans what they deserve, which is a Super Bowl matchup.
Yeah. We expected this to happen, actually. I think at the beginning of the year, Jason, you
Yeah.
called Buccaneers versus Chiefs, right?
I'm pretty sure.
Yeah,
you
I
two
think
called
I
it.
was the only one that called it on this
I think
program.
I picked Chiefs, maybe Seahawks is what I went.
I think, and I
Yeah.
went Chiefs Packers.
I went Chiefs Packers.
Yeah, so I guess I got lucky on that, but
Well, I mean,
TB,
yeah.
you never count TB12.
TB12, man.
I agree for sure.
TB12.
Well, if you guys can give me a minute here, I have a little trivia, Super Bowl trivia, before we jump into our next topic for you guys. And you guys have no idea about this at all, but here's the deal what we're going to do. I'm going to ask Jason and Tanner here a couple of different questions about Super Bowl history, 4 questions actually total. And we have some tequila if they are incorrect. We have Lunazol Blanco tequila, 100% the agave. That is our tequila of choice for the moment here today. And
Gearing up, boys.
he's
Just
gearing up to be prepared to be wrong about Super Bowl trivia. You guys got 4 questions. Get the bottle ready.
Just pour it.
Yeah, get a glass ready, Tanner. Get a little splash
pour
in
it.
there, so he's ready to do a shot.
What if we both get it wrong? Then
You're both
we
doing.
have to
You're
do a
both doing.
shot.
Well, here, yeah, that's the thing. You guys can debate it amongst each other if you'd like, but
So is this like a group thing? Like, is like Jason and I can discuss the
Oh,
right
we can
answer?
discuss it.
Do-
Good.
people are
That's kind of like
answer
phoning
back?
a friend. I can just ask the guy.
but the
sitting right
the
next to me.
commenters
Ham
over
it,
there
ham it.
on no.
Damn it! I need you to get your stuff ready.
The
Here we go.
commenters on YouTube over there. I
Ham it,
can't
get
see
ready.
from here.
Come on,
but
Ham
do
it,
not
help
help
us
out
out.
our people.
Hammett, get ready.
Do not help out Jason and Tanner on these questions. Like I can't see what you guys are saying. I'm too far away. Question number 1. You guys ready?
Go.
That's a big shot for Tanner. Oh my God, he's gonna throw up.
Dude,
All
you're
right.
gonna freaking kill me.
Tanner, you can make that 2 shots. That's fine.
Thanks, appreciate
that
that.
counts. As 2. There you
Number 1. Who was the last non-quarterback to win Super Bowl MVP?
You want to discuss that?
It was the Seahawks, right? It was with the Seahawks defense, or was it? the
No,
Seahawks
I
defense?
think I'm gonna go with Broncos possibly.
No. It was the Seahawks. Seahawks were more recent.
So we're not going.
What is your name?
We're not going with Von Miller.
Non-quarterback to win Super Bowl MVP. Who was the last
We're
one
not
that
going
did
with
it?
Von Miller.
I don't think it was Vaughn.
He's somebody after
I think
him.
it's like it's not Cam Chancellor. He just retired a few years ago.
He doesn't know. I mean, if
Any-
you can't come up
any
with a better
guesses
name,
for the-
I mean, you
for
can
a
go
name?
for it.
if you can't come up with
I'll
anything,
come up with my own name. I'll think of something. Here.
I'll just
Think
yeah.
about in the last 5 years. I'll put it that way.
Yeah.
Help you guys out. Last 5
Last
years.
5 years would be Von Miller, right?
Incorrect. Is that your answer?
Okay,
answer-
he
okay.
still gets a chance. I'll do my shot.
So you did Von Miller. What are you saying?
See, I know it's on the Seahawks defense. I just don't know. Can't remember the freaking name.
It's not Malcolm Smith, Tanner.
That's what I was thinking.
Do a
about.
shot.
God
No.
damn
It
it.
is Julian Edelman, Super Bowl 53.
One
That was
shot.
2
boy.
years ago.
Julian Element.
Julian Edelman.
Is
Well,
that
that
the-
was the greatest.
that was
game
the
I've ever
Rams.
seen, actually.
Right. Edelman won MVP just 2 years ago, you guys.
All right.
All right, there's shot number 1.
Yeah.
I'll give you guys something a little easier here for this next question.
Oh man. All right.
And so Tanner did half a shot of his double.
Don't worry.
Jason's
we're
gonna
gonna
ready.
get them all wrong, guys. Don't worry about
No,
it.
no,
It's gonna be
I wouldn't
rough,
say that.
guys.
It's only
We're
4
gonna have a
questions.
Okay, all right. What we got?
Next question. Name only 4 Hall of Fame players from the Chiefs' Super Bowl IV victory.
Name 4.
Just name 4 Hall of Famers from that
Okay.
team.
Why can't we just name one?
Well, there's 7 total. I'm giving you guys a little over half.
Lenny.
So
Lenny.
course.
Dawson. Okay, that's one. You got one.
you guys got 7 guys
Jason,
on that.
you got one?
Listen,
I said Len
the
Dawson.
Chiefs
You
had
gotta
7.
come up with the other
The
three.
Chiefs had 7 Hall of Famers on that
Will
team.
Lanier.
Okay.
2.
Mm-hmm.
Come on, Jason.
You guys got 7.
Dude, I'm not that old.
Bobby Buchanan.
Buck Buchanan.
Buck Buchanan.
Okay.
Oh, I thought he was gonna say Bobby Boucher.
Bobby Boucher.
Len Dawson, Buck Buchanan, and
my
Willie Lanier.
mama
Who else,
said-
Tanner?
my
We
mama
need to
said-
get one more.
One more.
That shot threw me off.
I didn't realize Tanner was older than me. I don't remember any of these players.
He's been a coach on the Chiefs before.
I know.
Defensive back. 2 of them, actually.
Oh my gosh.
Come on,
Jason.
Tanner.
You're killing me.
I'm not that old, dude. Like,
I see one more of the other.
nobody in our audience has ever watched Super Bowl IV.
You guys got 3 out of the 7 Hall of Famers. We just need 1 more. Think about defensive backs, Tanner.
I know. Trust me right now. Thomas. Whatever the freak his first name is. Thomas.
Emmett Thomas?
All right.
I don't even know where that came from, dude.
That's who it is. You guys got 4. Woo!
You know where I got that from?
No
It's
shot.
In Arrowhead, his name is on the.
It's on the Ring of
his
Fame.
Name's on the Ring of Fame.
Yeah,
That's the only time I've seen that name in my whole
The
life.
other ones would have been like Curly Culp.
Curly Culp
Johnny
was the one I was
Ross.
trying to
we
think
got
of
lucky.
on there
No
as well.
shot.
I was trying to
this
think of
time.
Curly Culp as one other guy.
He was another one. Anyways, all right. So, keeping on the theme of Chiefs and Buccaneers here, my next question is: who was the MVP in the Bucs' last Super Bowl appearance? So this
Do you know who it is?
in
The-
this
the
game,
Super Bowl that they won? Or
they won against the Raiders
Okay.
in 2002.
Do you know who it is?
the MVP?
The MVP of the
You want me
game.
to save us?
Yeah, I
You
don't
know it?
care.
Do you want to save us?
I think I know it, but
Derek Brooks.
You're close, but no.
it's close.
I'll give you another couple
Well,
chances.
Jason. Was...
I'll put it this way. I'll put it this way. Rich Gannon threw 5 interceptions in this game,
Yeah.
and we all know it was a domination.
It was a domination. Game.
Buccaneers destroyed them.
Are you talking about John Lynch?
No,
No, John Lynch
defensive
didn't
player.
win it.
this was a
Wasn't
safety.
Derek Brooks?
You know, that's still way
not Derek
before.
Brooks.
That's way before my time. I just can't.
Before your
2002
time.
before your time.
Yeah.
Jason,
I
when did
didn't
you start
watch-
watching
probably-
sports?
Dude,
I mean, that Bucs defense was one of the best.
Nobody
of all time.
cared about the Buccaneers back then.
That was the original Tampa 2 defense with Tony
It was
Dungy.
the
running
John
show.
Gruden matchup, man.
Well,
Well, it was
What the-
Gruden, but it was Tony Dungy's defense.
Give him the answer then, if you're so smart.
I thought I did.
He was a safety, not John Lynch.
It wasn't John Lynch. It was the other guy then.
Only 3 all-time have been defensive for Super Bowl MVP.
Look, I'm going to throw out this name, and it's going to cost me a shot. But it's because I can't remember the freaking
If it was a
guy's name.
safety, just say Cam Chancellor. You
No.
answered that on one of the other
And-
ones.
I'm saying, I don't know why I'm saying this, Antonio Gibson or something like that.
Do a shot, Tanner. Do a
Antonio
shot.
Gibson, seriously?
Do a shot. What?
He's a running back. What the hell is wrong with you?
All
I'm just
right,
trying to
well, you
think
guys
of
got to do a
names.
little shot. All right.
What's the name?
It is Dexter Jackson. He had 2 interceptions in the game for 34 yards.
Sure it wasn't
Never heard of him.
And
Are you sure it wasn't
let's put it
Brooks?
this way: his career was not very long, but
No, it was not.
he was the MVP of the game.
All right, we'll do a shot.
All right, you guys got one more. This one's kind of a mean question. I'm not gonna lie, it's not fair. But he was the only Super Bowl MVP from a losing team, or just give me what Super Bowl it was. I'll take that too. From a losing team, who was the only MVP ever?
All right, you're not killing me this time.
Oh gosh, why can't
Yeah,
this
he
be
did.
an
He did
NBA
get
question?
robbed.
It's Jerry West. If you're talking
Oh, about
NBA Finals.
NBA
Yeah,
MVP
he's the only,
losers.
he's
Should've
the only
been
MVP
LeBron.
loser
Um,
in NBA Finals.
Only Super Bowl losing MVP.
MVP. I'll put it this way: it was in the first 10 Super Bowls that it happened.
Oh, we're going to go. I'm going to just tell you the Super Bowl number. So that's going to be number 3.
You're close. You have a guess, Jason?
Super Bowl
If he says more than 10.
1.
No,
it's not freaking
definitely not.
1.
Bart Starr, I believe, was Super Bowl
What?
1.
Why can't we just get some NBA questions every once in a while?
Well, pretty soon NBA is going to be coming on strong with our show
we're gonna
here.
play the same game.
All right, guys. You guys can sip on that if you'd like. It's our last question. It is Chuck Hawley of Super Bowl 5 from the Indianapolis Colts.
I knew it was between like
Or I should say
3
the
and
Baltimore
6.
Colts, actually.
Chuck Hawley. Never heard of him.
Chuck Hawley, linebacker. It was actually it was the game that the Colts won, but it was actually the Dallas Cowboys linebacker that won MVP of the game.
That was a great
Isn't
game.
that kind of
was
crazy?
a great game, Mike.
How does a defensive player win MVP on the losing end of the team? In a Super Bowl. It's
Yeah, LeBron
weird.
James should have won a few years ago, but
all right, guys. Thank you for playing along with me. I know a couple of those are pretty tough questions. I thought you guys
fair.
would get the Julian Edelman one. I
And
thought
I'm
for
sure
sure
you
that
thought we would get the
for
ones
sure.
from the 1960s as well, but we didn't.
Hey, Chiefs Super Bowl 4. You guys nailed that one. You got that one right.
I did it, guys. I did it.
All right, so Jason, do you have anything else to talk about as far as your quarterback things? I know you love to talk quarterbacks.
Yeah, no, I just want to know you guys' thoughts because I did bring up my, on Saturday on the podcast, I brought up my top 5 quarterbacks of all time. Just want to know you guys' thoughts out there in the Twitter sphere, and Tanner and Mike, I want to know your thoughts as well. And in case you didn't listen to my podcast, I had number 1, Tom Brady, number 2, Joe Montana, number 3, Drew Brees, number 4, Dan Marino, and number 5 is reserved
Where's Peyton Manning?
for Patrick Mahomes.
Where's Peyton Manning?
Now's your time
It
to
took
argue.
us 13 seconds to pick in the Hall of Fame. You don't Peyton Manning at number 5?
Who is your number 1, Tanner? Peyton Manning?
Tom Brady, dude. Tom
Okay.
Brady. Tom Brady.
Tom Brady's number 1.
I'm
Shouldn't be
a
debated.
reasonable guy.
Who is your number 2 then?
Number 2 is I liked his top 3. So Joe Montana. Right?
Oh, he did like my top
I
three.
did like
Really?
the top 3.
What do we say about Joe Montana? He was undefeated, and that's important when you're talking about winning games.
Yeah, I agree with that. That is an important aspect for sure.
But where the hell's Tom Brady? Tom Brady should be in that 5 spot until Patrick Mahomes kicks him out. So
So
Who's your number 4? Do you have a
is that
number 4? Is it Aaron Rodgers or Ben Roethlisberger?
Brett Favre.
Brett Favre's number 4.
Brett
the
Favre, baby.
leader in sacks and interceptions.
Just
Oh,
chug it.
yeah.
Just-
What a great. That was
Somebody's
great.
out there.
I
Somebody
love Brett. Hey, I love Brett Favre. I think he was awesome. to
Someone
watch.
be
I'm
open.
I'm a fan of the way he played. And then you have a number 5.
Yeah. Well,
It's Mahomes.
no,
Yeah.
wasn't Peyton Manning my number 5?
Um,
Peyton Manning's my number 5.
So you're leaving Mahomes off the list.
Mahomes is off the list right now.
Oh my gosh, he's putting Peyton Manning ahead.
Peyton
of
Manning's.
Mahomes. Wow, that's impressive, Tanner. Anyway,
Well,
Mike, who's your
that's
top
fine.
5? Do you have a top 5?
Well, we already know the number 1 here. Number 1 is
Patrick
Tom Brady.
Mahomes.
Well, I mean, honestly, Mahomes it's a debate here, but number 1, you can't argue right now with Tom Brady. To give Mahomes more time, he's 25 years old. Brady's 18 years older than him, so in 18 years, ask me again, and I'll probably have a different answer. But number 2 for me, I've always loved Drew Brees, so I think Drew Brees is my number 2 quarterback. Longevity as well as consistency for Drew Brees that was extremely impressive to do. And then my number 3 all time is actually going to be Joe Montana then. Give me those Super Bowls and the victories and the way he played, as well as taking the Chiefs to an AFC Championship game as well. Of course, Joe Montana got injured in that game, and the Chiefs lost in 1994 playoff game against the Bills. Number 4, I love Dan Marino. I've always been a fan of Dan Marino. I got it, even despite no Super Bowls.
So Hammett just put in here, said pure number standpoint, Marino's on the conversation.
He has to be. Marino has to be in the conversation because of what he did, especially at that time period, was absolutely incredible. We thought for a minute that some of those records would never be touched. And it did take a long time. Like, do you realize how long the 48 touchdowns stood until it was broken by Tom Brady in, I think it was 2007? That record stood for over 20 years.
Oh, I was going to say
Of
30.
the passing touchdown record in one single season. But over career, yeah, I mean, he can't help the fact he never had a defense. Number 5, though, I'm with Jason. Give me Patrick Mahomes. I'm a homer, of course. I'm a lover of Patrick Mahomes. He is my everything. But it's one of those things where the guy's put on the most spectacular beginning to a sports career in sports history, and especially on a team game. And it's one of those things that is only going to get better from here.
So it's interesting that you and I had the exact same list, but you just flipped Joe Montana and Drew Brees. You had Brees number 2.
And he added in Dan Marino.
No, we both had Marino.
you had
Marino.
Marino.
So we just flipped Brees.
We flipped Brees for Montana.
So I'm kind of shocked you don't have a lefty in there for being a lefty.
What, Steve Young?
Steve Young.
He's fine. He played great in his time period. He didn't play long enough, quite for me, and he did at one point hold the record for the best quarterback rating until Rodgers broke it.
Yeah.
Which I look at as an important statistic as long as you understand what it means in the formula to how to get that number. Some people think it's irrelevant. I do actually put stock into it because I know the formula it requires for it to work. But I like Steve Young. But then again, lefties suck at quarterback. So me as a lefty myself, I'd rather be a Ken Griffey Jr.
So before we move on, Mike, can you just give me your soliloquy that you gave me not too long ago about why Peyton Manning is not on this list? Because you have a great way of explaining it. And I'm assuming he's in your top 10, but I don't even know that. But can you just explain that for us?
Yeah, Peyton's in my top 10, and I'm not great at explaining myself twice or 3 times, for that matter, consistently.
You'll be all right.
But my thought about Peyton Manning is that he is one of the best regular season quarterbacks of all time. When you take that into account, as a playoff quarterback, he was carried the first run by running game, where the Chiefs' run defense completely folded that season back in 2006, and the Colts ended up running. They stuffed Larry Johnson in that, as a matter of fact, in that wild card game, Chiefs and Colts. And Peyton Manning was dinking and dunking throughout that entire playoff run. They ended up playing the Bears against Rex Grossman was his competitor. That's who Peyton Manning played against in his first Super Bowl victory. After that, he went to the Broncos, where they were loaded with talent, which is fair. That's fine. And he did play well when he got older. But here's the thing. It's like he ended up winning a Super Bowl in a game. Once again, it was carried by a bunch of defense with the Broncos. And so he was carried by the defense with Von Miller and all that whole gang over there. Trevathan, I think, was involved there. They had Brian Dawkins on that team, guys like that. And it was a team that was not built around Peyton Manning as much as everything around him. And so both those Super Bowl runs he had, to me, you can really devalue those when you look at the way he played in those. Where, meanwhile, Patrick Mahomes, all of his playoff games he's ever won is because he dominated.
Yeah, and I just appreciate you explaining that, because there's so many people out there that still think that Peyton Manning's the best player of all time in the NFL. I'm just like, man, I'm getting tired of listening to that.
Look, I'll go
And
over
we got one
stuff
of
later.
these guys over here.
I can go over that sometime later here, but let's just say Peyton Manning does his job, and that's what he needed to do. He knew his role, he knew where he was at, and that's exactly what needed to happen.
Yes, he did his job in the regular season. In the playoffs, he turned it over
What do
to
you
the other
mean
guys.
he did it? He didn't do anything. He did his job. He
If
knew
I
what he
remember
needed
correctly,
to do.
Peyton Manning got benched in the middle of the season during the year that they actually won the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
You know why? Because Brock
old, dude.
Osweiler came in instead to replace him because Peyton Manning was playing so poorly.
It was
That is
fine,
that is
dude.
what
It was
happened
fine.
during that season
Don't worry
of the
about
Super
it.
Bowl victory.
Brock Assweiler, really?
He came in
Totally forgot
to
about
replace
that.
Peyton Manning
Remember
for
that
a few
guy?
games
I do remember that Assweiler.
because Peyton Manning was playing so poorly. That is what happened during that season. But yes, the defense still carried him to a ring.
Real quick here, Hammond wants to ask about Elway.
No, not at
Not
all.
a chance.
Not a chance on LA. Not even
Yeah,
close.
I respect John Elway a lot, but he just had way too much of a running game in those Super Bowls that really helped him out.
Rod
Terrell
Smith and Terrell Davis, of course, and then Shannon Sharp. And he went to multiple Super Bowls. But
Multiple.
Elway is top 15 for me. If I had to make a top 15, I'd put him somewhere in the back end from 10 to 15. But top 5, not even close at all, in my opinion. Not in today's league. Because I'm going to go down, I talk about Rodgers, going to be in the top 10 just by pure ability. And so I think we can really go down the list. And Russell Wilson's better than John Elway, in my opinion. So.
Okay, that's fair. That's fair. All right. All right.
All right. Well, now that we had that little discussion and debate, I guess, what else do we need to talk about, Jason? I know you have a couple of talking points that you were really looking forward to getting into. Like, do you want to talk about the halftime show?
Yeah, no, I want to know you guys' thoughts on the weekend. Do you guys have any favorite weekend songs? Because he is going to be performing at halftime, and I'll just go ahead and give you my list. This is probably my 4 favorite weekend songs. I've got to go with Can't Feel My Face, and then Starboy, and then I like In Your Eyes, and then I like my personal favorite, because it was filmed in Las Vegas, Blinding Lights.
Blinding Lights, baby.
My favorite song.
I'd be like, ooh.
Okay, we didn't really want to go there, but Tanner, give me your favorite song.
More shots, Tanner. More shots.
Look, guys. I can even go down those way. Save Your Tears was my favorite. Can't Feel My Face. Blinding Lights. Look, just play with The Weeknd. The guy sounds almost exactly like Michael Jackson at times, and then he like flips the script and sounds somebody totally different. I love the guy. I'm excited for his show. He put $7 million of his own money into this halftime show. So I can't wait to see what it is, what it looks like, what it's going to be like, especially in a COVID year. Like, can you imagine in Tampa Bay, Florida, guys, Weeknd, it's going to perform. Now, I should have looked this up beforehand, but there's prop bets out there in Bovada. We're going to have to look those up right before the Super Bowl.
Gotta
Are you
love
doing
me
some bets?
Bovada.
So real quick
Bovada.
here,
What do we got for Bovada?
real quick here, if you need to know what the first song is going to be, I'm here to provide that for you real quick here. It is going to be I Feel It Coming. That's going to be your first song that he will perform.
Is that your for sure bet of the week?
That's my Jason's.
That is your
money!
money.
Bet
easy money
of the
bet
week.
of the week.
Easy money,
Easy
bet
money
of
bet of the week.
I like
Okay.
Look, man,
that.
that's going to be the first one, and I've been thinking about this for the last month and a half, and I really think that'll be the first song he plays. I am super, super excited for this guy to perform, and who knows who he may have with him during this time.
I don't really care for the weekend too much. That's not really my jam. I like metal, as you guys know out there. Listen out there, Sports Buffoon Clan.
out.
But I guess I do like I Can't Feel My Face because it kind of reminds me of 69 a little bit. But that's just because I go a little numb every once in a while. But otherwise, I don't know any other songs by that band or group, I should say.
Yeah, that is a good band. That's a
I
good
can't, dude. I can't. I can't. Oh,
All right, moving right along, guys. So I gave you guys a prediction, or it was kind of my hope of what we would see as far as like the quarterback carousel. Gave you guys that on Saturday, and I said that I was hoping that Deshaun Watson could somehow come over to the AFC West. Well, there are rumors out there that the Raiders are shopping Derek Carr, and they have interest in Deshaun Watson. And so I really wanted to see the AFC West fill up with elite quarterbacks. But My other hope was that Aaron Rodgers could come to the Broncos, but I guess he's off the table. So my new prediction is Deshaun Watson still to the Raiders. That's what I said on Saturday. And then for the Broncos, Andrew Luck is going to come out of retirement and do a trade with the Colts. And you're going to see Andrew Luck, Deshaun Watson, Patrick Mahomes, Justin Herbert all in the same division.
What?
So that's kind of my pie in the sky idea. It's not my official prediction, but I do want to see Deshaun Watson go to the Raiders because I want elite competition for Patrick Mahomes, because you know what that does to Patrick Mahomes? It's going to make him that much better.
No, hold on. Jason. You're telling me that the Broncos and Colts once again are going to make a trade together instead of send Peyton Manning over there and send Andrew Luck?
My point is that John Elway loves retread superstar quarterbacks. Who is the only retread superstar quarterback that might be or could be on the market right now? It's Andrew Luck. So wouldn't that be an amazing round of quarterbacks, all four of those guys in the AFC West?
I mean,
that would blow my mind.
We would be the number one division.
You're
by
playing
far.
like in a fantasy land over
Dude,
there.
I don't know what you're playing right now. You think
But-
Ballard isn't going to make a deal with Andrew Luck if he wants to come back?
But dude, part of my plan is already going to happen.
So who do the Colts get?
Deshaun Watson might already be going
What
to
are
the
you
Raiders.
going to send? You're going to send crappy-ass quarterbacks from the Broncos to the Colts?
Who cares? If you get Andrew Luck, you're going to do what it takes. The same thing with the Raiders. You're going to do what it takes to get Deshaun Watson.
Look, guys, the Sean takes going all the way around. Houston's already come out and saying this guy's not for sale. This guy's going to be a part of our area. And guess what? If he has to sit on the bench and pay the Houston Texans to be part for a year, that's what it's going to be. Deshaun's not going anywhere, at least until next year. He's going to pull probably Le'Veon Bell and not play.
But
That's how it works.
here's the thing, though, Tanner. John Gruden came out and said, I think Deshaun Watson is going to stay in Houston. What does that tell you?
I think he's going to
That
stay in
means
Houston,
he is
dude.
putting up a smokescreen, and there are things going on that we don't know about, and that they are shopping Derek Carr. Why the hell else would you shop Derek Carr?
You're
gonna
not
start over in
shopping
the
Derek
draft?
Carr. No, this is just media hype going around. Schefter already put the over-under on 18 different quarterbacks starting from last year's start of the season.
I'm just saying it would be pretty cool. Mike, you have to agree on that.
No,
It
it'd
would
be
pretty
awesome.
Cool
I agree.
If you had not even Andrew Luck, just
No.
those three guys. If we could just get Deshaun Watson on the Raiders.
It would
How
be
cool
fun.
would
It
it
would
be-
make all the games more interesting.
And it
We would
makes
actually-
Patrick Mahomes better than he already is.
and
because it's
Andy
better
Reid,
competition.
Eric Bieniemy,
Yeah.
Patrick Mahomes will all have to do a little bit more work around this to make
You know,
sure
we
they're
always
dominant.
talk about teams being battle tested.
This will be a battle
I
test.
mean, Mahomes will
Division.
be battle tested every single year. At
We
that
might get
point, right.
we might get three wild card, three playoff teams every year if that's the case.
Yeah, the Raiders will be substantially better going forward if they were to make a move like that. I don't know that they will. This is all speculation right now. As far as Andrew Luck, I don't know. That's a very far-fetched idea. But it's
I like
fine.
it, though. I like
it's
it,
fine
though.
to go off the haywire for
It's
a minute
different.
and see, where your mind wants to wander on those kind of things. That's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know what to think of that whole topic right there. But we've talked a lot about Watson lately on the show here, and he is a great quarterback. I think he's fun to watch, and he's got a good future ahead of him. But I'm ready to see, whenever, because David Culley came along to the Texans, right, as a head coach now. He's said in a quote now that he came to the Texans because he knew Watson was going nowhere. That's what he said. Then again, he doesn't have control over that. The ownership does. And so
so it's Cesario or Casario or whatever you say
Yeah.
his name. Yeah.
the ownership has control over that. David Culley wants to have Watson, of course, because it's easier to be successful as a new coach when you have a good quarterback in place. But
the
then
leading
again,
passing
not-
guy. Yeah.
yeah, Watson doesn't seem to be interested in wanting to stay in Houston at all. which
Well,
I don't-
he's
I
not
don't
going to
blame him.
stay. He's not going to stay because Houston sucks. Period. End of story. But moving right along, let's talk about Jared Goff and his move to the Detroit Lions. What do you think happened there now that the Rams have gotten rid of him?
It's an interesting scenario that happened with Jared Goff. He was kind of randomly set to the side, almost like a toy they got tired of playing with during the season. And the playoffs came along. Their quarterback they replaced him with, I can't remember his name right now. He got injured in the playoff game.
Wofford.
Yes.
Wofford.
Yes, he came in, and Goff came in the game and played well.
Had it.
Right?
Yeah.
As far as Matthew Stafford goes, going to the Rams, I think that you're getting a good, experienced quarterback that I think will be probably more successful in LA than he was in Detroit. And I think Goff's career might be in trouble, personally. It's just not.
So it was a mutual. So Goff came out and said, "Oh yeah, it's mutual. You know, the Rams didn't want me. I didn't want the Rams. Well, yeah, no wonder it's mutual now. You know, I think he's just butthurt.
Was there a story that came out that you know about, Jason?
Yes, there was a story that came out, and so I just want you guys all to know out there that the reason Jared Goff got traded had nothing to do with his play on the field. And so once the trade went down, it was kind of like, remember when the Steelers got rid of Antonio Brown, and you never heard anything until after the trade? Well, this is kind of the same scenario. So apparently, Jared Goff was saying a few things about Sean McVay and his wife, and things that he might like to do to Sean McVay's wife.
Jason,
and so,
can you move your head a little bit for the screen in the background for the fans that are watching on YouTube,
Yes.
real quick? Just you could see the video there. The fans need to see what Sean McVay's wife is made of. Just the full disclosure over
Yes.
what he was talking about. Okay, now go ahead.
So I do see what she's made of, but as far as Jared Goff is concerned, that's what happened. So they had some sort of a text where he said he was going to somehow accommodate Sean McVay's wife, if I want to put it lightly, and therefore he was traded away from the Rams to the Lions. And so just so we're all clear on this, it had nothing to do with Jared Goff's play on the field, because when have you guys known any team to bench a guy that's making $33 million a year on average? And also, to be clear, I mean, have you guys ever seen Jared Goff's girlfriend? I mean, obviously it was a joke. I mean, he was joking around, because if you're Jared Goff and you've got Jared Goff's girlfriend, you're not going to mess with that. I mean, that's just my opinion.
Well, he's just saying hypothetically he would pipe her down.
Right.
That's what he was saying. So it doesn't really mean he's going
But-
to do it. He
but
said,
now-
you know, if the
hold on,
chance
hold
came
on.
up and she was there in front of him,
So is this
he would wanna
what
do
we
it.
call
It's
locker room?
hypothetical.
I mean, I know
Locker
it's a
room
bad
talk.
joke, but is this
Oh, correct.
locker room talk? Or is that
Well,
what
there
we're
was guys
talking
at
about
locker
here?
rooms when I was playing football. They would talk like that.
So pipe her down though. Maybe she just was annoying when she talked. Maybe that was the pipe her down comment.
Oh, like the quiet.
Like, you're just tired
pipe
of it.
Pipe it down, lady.
Like shut up.
I would pipe her down.
Yeah, I'd
She
pipe her
needs to
down. Like I don't want to hear her
stop
talk. Yeah.
Well, McVay took that the wrong way then, because I
Yes,
think
he
he
did take it
probably
the
did
wrong way.
mean for her to just kind of shut up every once in a while. He didn't mean he was going to put his thing inside of her. I'm not going to use the words for the
Yeah.
podcast.
You know,
Close enough.
The thing of it is like I've told you guys before on the show, like I've always been a Jared Goff hater because he's always screwed me over in my fantasy teams. But I mean, he is the #1 overall pick, and so now he's going to the Detroit Lions with Dan Campbell over there. And so, what do you guys think about this? Maybe Jared Goff can be the new Ryan Tannehill, and one of these days resurrect his career. Do you think that's going to happen?
Okay, where's Detroit going to have their running game like Derrick Henry to help Jared Goff?
DeAndre
become a
Swift's
better
going to come
passer?
along. DeAndre Swift's going to turn into Derrick Henry or something.
I just want to know your opinion. Do you think he's
No.
going to be trash? Like, do you think the Lions are going to ruin his career, or do you think he might have a decent career?
I think he'll be unsuccessful in Detroit.
Yeah.
I think
I agree.
Stafford actually improves though with the Rams.
by far. I think there's more weapons on the Rams
And more
that's what Goff's
creativity.
gonna miss.
The game plan of Sean McVay, who we all know is a very creative mind when it comes to
Now hold
football.
on. What we're missing out, guys, isn't really what's on the offense. What's on the defense is he going to miss?
Oh, then, yeah. I mean, that's
You ain't got no
gonna
Aaron Donald on the defense of the
Right.
Lions.
gonna be a-
Sue's down in Tampa.
be a big difference. I think Goff can end up being a turnover machine in Detroit, actually,
It's going to be rough.
throughout that whole season over there. We'll find out here next year, I guess.
Well,
as time
all
goes
I'm
on.
going to say is we wish Jared Goff all the best in laying the pipe, and we'll end it at that.
Yeah, we'll see if that ever happens.
Hey, real
We
quick,
may or may not find
while
out.
we're on girl talk, Mr. A.C. Rieger would
Mm-hmm.
say us, hey, buffoons, how do you keep your girl entertained on Sunday if she doesn't watch football?
Yeah, Jason, you go
a
first on
great
this.
question.
What do you think? So is your wife into football, Jason?
No, not at all.
How,
No,
if you
it's
guys
just-
went out somewhere, how do you keep her entertained during the game? What would be your opinion?
No, you just got to take her to one of the best restaurants in town. So you guys know my wife is a foodie, and she likes the top end chefs out there. So you just take her out to a nice restaurant, and you just give her what she wants. I mean,
'Cause,
she
well-
wants super expensive
Oh, geez.
meals. Like $200 a meal. Your bill might come out to $250 or something like that. But at least she's going to be satisfied, and you're not going to force her to watch football. So you're
But-
going to make her happy.
Will she sit there for 4 to 5 hours watching this entire game with you at that restaurant you speak of?
4 to 5 hours? Probably. Oh, yeah.
Okay.
If they have a TV. Most likely the restaurants I'm talking about are not going to have a TV, but she'll let me watch it on my phone.
Oh, gosh. Wow. Oh, my. So basically, I should never get married then. So if that's the case. But, I mean, we're speaking hypothetically here
It's not
about the Super Bowl here. Tanner, what are you planning on? What do you think?
All right, so I'm going to give you two answers. I'm going to give you a Bubba answer. I'm going to give you a Tanner answer. All right? You determine which one's which. So, first answer is you just go out with the boys and you leave her with the kid. That's one answer, right?
What if
You go out with the boys and you leave her with the kid.
Oh, good answer,
Well,
Ted.
okay.
I should have just
Okay.
be pissed
That's
off
all
when
it
we
is.
get home.
I think he's asking in a dating perspective. Like,
Look.
what do you do with bringing your girl
He's
out?
not dating. He's married.
I know. We're asking for AC. AC wants to know.
Yes, AC wants to know.
One of our commenters
You
wants
leave
to
her
know.
with the boy. You go out with the boys. You leave her with the kid. You deal with it the next morning. Sorry, that's a Bubba answer. The right answer: if you're married, you stay home, but you have the kid there to kind of entertain her or let her do whatever she wants while you watch the game on the TV. That's really what it is. You can't let her do her own thing. You don't force her to stay. We're not going to go out to a bar. She's not going to stay for 9 hours. We'll be fine. She'll let her do her own thing.
Here's the thing, though. At the end of the day, the girl's going to have fun with the atmosphere. So take your girl somewhere where there's a good atmosphere. Even if she doesn't like football, most girls that don't understand football, they will still be excited when people around them are excited. They see other people clapping and cheering when there's touchdowns or first downs, and they want to be a part of it. So take her somewhere where there's a good atmosphere, where she can have a good experience with you, and also encourage her to join in on that experience.
Correct.
And yeah, it's going to be a 4-hour-long process from beginning to end of this entire game. And so that's the thing. How do you keep her entertained and have fun for 4 hours if you're the girl who doesn't know anything about football? Just go somewhere where she's going to have fun with you and experience you as who you are, even if she doesn't know a damn thing about football. And that's going to make or break your night right there. Just make sure you have fun, because you will. It's a Super Bowl. It's the Chiefs. But as far as the girl goes, she'll love it. It'll be a memory, and she'll always think about, like, oh, well, next year when she goes, the Super Bowl's coming up. Oh, last year when I was hanging out with this cool guy, we did this awesome experience where there was people everywhere, excited about the game and had a great time. We were tomahawk chopping and all this other stuff, and I didn't know what was going on, but I had a great time. She'll remember that a year from now.
Hammett says the secret's to find you a woman that likes football and shots.
That helps. That
There
does
you
help.
go. There you go.
If you can do that, that's a cheat. That's also a cheat code.
Mr. AC, you need any more advice here? The Buffoons and Hammett are here.
All right, are you guys ready now to really dive into this Chiefs-Buccaneers game?
Dive in.
Okay, let's dive right into this, because this is going to be the core of our show here today. We have another probably, 20 minutes left here for our show. But one thing about this is the Chiefs, if you guys realize this is amazing, the run the Kansas City Chiefs are on right now. They have won 25 of their last 26 games in which the starters have played the game. Now, I don't want to count Week 17 of the season, because to me it doesn't matter. But as far as when the starters have played, the last time that they lost in the last 26 games was that Raiders game earlier on in the season, in which they ended up losing 40-32. It was it was a game where the Chiefs deserved to lose, and they were outplayed by the Raiders in that game, I believe, and because they couldn't stop the run. And the Buccaneers do have a good running game. They have Leonard Fournette and Ronald Jones. I'm a fan of both those guys, especially Ronald Jones. You guys know that. But with this game in particular, my main concerns, as we talked about earlier, was the O-line and facing against Jason Pierre-Paul. Now, he is on the injured list. That is something we need to keep in mind, as he did not practice today. And on the Chiefs' end, Willie Gay is not going to be playing. Eric Fisher will not be playing. But everyone else seems to be on the right track. Sammy Watkins should be back playing. Who else, Tanner?
Le'Veon Bell.
Le'Veon Bell will be back, I think, at least for sparing kind of moments. Clyde Edwards-Helaire, which I think is the most important part of the running back group, as we saw throughout this season.
He'll be really healthy then.
And so what is in this game going to stand out to you guys the most? Now, for the moment, take away the Brady Mahomes talk. Let's dive more into the team aspect of this, because I know for me that run defense the Tampa Bay presents, 2 years in a row, number one run defense in the league. And I think that goes a long ways towards the Chiefs being passing-oriented. And the Chiefs also passed all over their asses earlier on in the season in Week 12. When Tyreek Hill had 210 yards receiving and 3 touchdowns. Well, in the first half, I should say. 210 receiving in the first half and finished with 269 and 3 touchdowns for the game.
Yeah, I'm gonna play man-to-man on you. Sure, go ahead. That's what Tyreek
Well,
does.
they talked about, Carlton Davis talked about, they're not doing that same game plan this time, which I would hope not. They got to switch that up because that did not work last time.
No, it did not. That
It was
was awful.
27-24, by the way. Chiefs.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Who's
so
your
27-24 in that last game. But you look at Shaq Barrett and JPP. We talked about them earlier. That first game, they each only got 1 sack apiece. And if that happens again, I think the Chiefs are going to win pretty easily. I think they've got to get to Mahomes a little bit better than that. And on the other side, guys, we need a Frank Clark game here. And so I've got a question for you, Tanner. Are we at the point where we need to start calling him playoff Frank Clark? Because I kind of think of him as the same way that I think of playoff Rondo in the NBA, Rajon Rondo. Because Frank Clark didn't do a lot in the regular season, but he had 2 sacks against the Bills. So are we seeing the emergence of playoff Frank Clark?
Look, it's really hard because Frank Clark is actually a force all season long. He really is. He's in the mix. There's a reason why others are getting sacks and he's not. But as far as talking statistics, yeah, you're talking playoff Frank Clark coming into play. It is not. It's going to be the same exact thing as playoff Rondo. You're going to get a whole different level, which is kind of crazy to see, of a Frank Clark than you are at just like you do get a Rondo in a playoff.
Yeah, he's like Johnny Cueto when the Royals had him.
Johnny
Cueto
man.
during the regular season was pretty awful for the Royals at the back end. Playoffs came on, and Cueto came in, and he was dominant in the playoffs that stretch of the run there. And, yeah, I think Clark is – well, did you guys see today quarterback – or QBR, I should say, ESPN has a different system than what normal quarterback ratings are. But Tom Brady, when he's pressured, only had a 10 QBR for this season. This entire season, 10, whereas Mahomes had like an 80 QBR. And then the numbers itself put that in perspective alone, and it gives you an idea at least of the difference where how Brady performs when he's pressured versus not. Now the Chiefs are. Have you seen L'Jarius Sneed lately? Getting the pressure from coming from that nickel position off the edge right there. That has been the best thing the Chiefs have done recently.
My.
Spagnuolo has been dialing up with L'Jarius Sneed. It's been dominant.
How huge has it been our secondary? Are the people making sacks in the freaking backfield right now?
Tanner Sneed has 5 sacks in a row. 5
Dude,
games
the
in a
guy's
row.
ridiculous.
As a corner.
He can execute. And I'm not saying like just bags, calls the play. He's the guy making it, finishing it out. Like
He's the X factor of the defense. I mean, we talk about Tyrann Mathieu and guys like that, but Sneed comes in and his pressure just has been making some serious impact. And like Brady, as we know, you don't want to blitz him, but the Chiefs can dial up something creative. Spagnuolo, his career against Tom Brady, it shows itself as it is.
Yes.
From coordinator standpoint, Brady has always struggled against Steve Spagnuolo. He did it earlier this year when the Chiefs played Brady. He's done it in the past when the Chiefs played Brady with the Patriots. He's done it in the past when it was the Giants and the Patriots. And so that's been historically Brady's worst nightmare, is Steve Spagnuolo.
Yeah, and so we talked about this on the last show, the fact that Brady just can't seem to get beyond Steve Spagnuolo, and we talked about the fact that this was going to be a revenge game for Brady. What do you think Brady needs to do, Mike, to finally get over the hump against Steve Spagnuolo?
I think that for the first time in a long time for Brady's aspect, they got to run the ball great. And we know the Patriots historically have been a passing first team. They've always had good pass-catching running backs between guys like Kevin Falk and Danny Woodhead and James White. And guys like that where they're based around receiving backs. And I think for the Buccaneers to finally find a way, Tom Brady himself to finally find a way to beat Spagnuolo's defense is going to be to run the ball up the Chiefs' ass. Mm-hmm. That is going to be their best way to get a victory here. Now, yes, the Buccaneers' receiving weapons should not go unnoticed. Mike Evans, Godwin, and Antonio Brown and Gronk. That's
Cameron Brate.
One of the
Don't
best cores.
Brate and Scotty Miller.
Cameron Brate, Scotty
have
Miller.
been great lately.
Scotty Miller's been playing great. The weapons are amazing. But I don't think it even goes to that point. I think you need to control the clock, run the ball against the Chiefs, and especially against Patrick Mahomes now. So not only facing Spagnuolo, you're facing Patrick Mahomes. And so you got to change the entire style of play. How did the Raiders beat the Chiefs? They ran the ball with Josh Jacobs up the Chiefs' ass. Buccaneers got to do the exact same thing, and that's how they win.
Mm-hmm.
But my question to you is, like, do you think Bruce Arians is actually smart enough to do that, or do you think he's going to try to make it a shootout? Because if I see a shootout in this game, it's not going to be pretty. Like, the Chiefs could actually blow them out.
I'll put it this way. Bruce Arians is also an aggressive coach, as I think Andy Reid is as well. I think he's proven that, especially in Kansas City. And there was a quote from Andy Reid, actually, earlier this week, and he said, I went to BYU, every down is a throwing down. Mm-hmm. And to Andy Reid, every play should be a throwing play. If it's up to him, he doesn't run the ball ever. And Bruce Arians is a very similar mindset. He doesn't really care so much for it as much as just throwing the ball, playing aggressive. And both these coaches like to go for it on a fourth down. They've proven that. And so when that time comes, this game might be won on a fourth down play call by one of these two coaches at the end of the day. So to me, Arians, no, he cannot control himself enough to run the ball. He will be throwing at Tom Brady.
Now hold on here. All right, Bruce Arians just beat Drew Brees and Aaron Rodgers in back-to-back weeks. Right? Back-to-back weeks.
He did.
On Tom Brady throwing 3 INTs, on turnovers, forcing Matt LaFleur to make a bad call on the 4th and 8 towards the end of the game. This is a coach that, yeah, he plays aggressive, but he's not playing stupid. He knows what he's doing. He knows how to get the defense in the situations he wants. Yeah. This guy's not to be underestimated by any means.
He knows what he's doing, but when you have that many weapons on that team, it's got to be very tempting to just say, screw it, and freaking throw the ball and get into a shootout.
Yeah, I agree with that. I just think there's got to be a balance for their style of play. They need to be able to run the ball effectively, and we've seen Brady in the past when they have run the ball effectively with their running backs and some of their bigger bruiser kind of backs, and the play-action pass, getting Gronk open, and getting, in this situation, Godwin open instead of Edelman. Those guys, they're wide open on the play-action pass. They're wide open. Move those linebackers over. And to be fair, the Chiefs linebackers are average. They are a very average linebacker group that we have with Hitchens and Damian Wilson and Willie Gay's out. And of course,
Ben Neiman.
Ben Neiman, baby. There, of course, and stuff like that. This linebacker group is what they're going to want to attack, is to come after them, because the Chiefs have a good offensive or defensive line, and they have a good secondary. They have a good scheme. But if you want to really beat the Chiefs, tackle the linebackers, make them look silly. And Tom Brady knows how to do that. That's their plan. Yeah. Gronk's going to be there over the middle of the field. Scotty Miller might be his new Wes Welker for this game.
Are you sure Scotty Miller isn't Wes Welker in disguise?
He's a little bigger and a little faster.
Or not Wes Welker, Julian Edelman. Yeah.
It's similar, yeah.
I mean same guys. I'm pretty sure it's Wes Welker.
The same way.
So, yeah, it's crazy, though.
But I love the Chiefs' secondary as far as the kind of talent that they have and the way that some of these guys developed, like Rashad Fenton has developed great. Snead has stepped in immediately from day one and been productive. Travarius Ward is a guy that we found from out of nowhere. That was
Fenton?
Traded for. Well, that's what I said, Rashad Fenton.
Yeah,
Rashad Breeland's always an aggressive, good, hard-hitting tackler.
And don't forget on the backside, too, Armani Watts, who's been playing here and there. He's playing pretty well. Thornhill's coming into a full 100%.
Thornhill's playing better recently.
Oh, man. Hello, old Thornhill.
I'm not as worried about the secondary as I am more those linebackers getting abused.
But I think we got so much secondary weapons right now that the linebacker position will just take care of itself. Because you're going to bring in Tyron, you're bringing in Snead, Thornhill. You're going to bring those guys in to play that coverage.
I do think this will be a shootout, though, by the way, Jason.
By far.
You do think it's going to be a shootout?
Yeah, I do. I think there's no debate. To me, there's no doubt.
Yeah.
This is going to be a shootout.
Okay.
Hey, Jason, I know you like revenge games. This is kind of a revenge game, but not really. Bieniemy, right? He was just pretty much ousted as a head coach on the vacancies this year. Do you think Bieniemy comes out and says, screw you, NFL, I'm going to blast these guys in Tampa Bay, and I'm going to show you what I'm really made of?
No, I mean, he's going to do the usual job that he usually does, which is a great job. That's not going to affect his play calling or anything like that. I mean, he's just going to go in there, do his job. He's going to do what he always does. And I don't think he's going to carry that into the Super Bowl. Game. He's not going to let it affect him, which is what a true alpha male should do, by the way.
Correct. Does not respond. So, yeah, no, that's fair. That's fair right there.
Yeah.
Jason, so Chris Jones, Tom Brady, They had spats, right? They had spats before. They're always competitive against each other. There's no hate. There's a lot of love. But do we see another spat with Chris Jones and Tom Brady come into play?
I mean, I hope so.
That
would make it fun to watch. I hope we can see some fireworks. I hope it's like the end of that Buffalo game where we're just torching the shit out of them, and then everybody gets into a fight. I hope they have to escort all the players off the field.
So I don't know if you guys saw the tweet flying around here, but there's a Buffalo podcast out there. The reason they are rooting for the Bucks, and they showed a clip of it, is all the Chiefs. What went on during the Buffalo Bills game, the Chris Jones punch, the push, just the extra behavior, the body slam by Breland.
Are they butthurt?
I think they're butthurt.
I mean,
I think the Bills fans are
Are
butthurt.
they not also causing issues? The Bills.
They were
themselves,
causing plenty
so-
of issues.
But they're going to be upset about
But
that.
they're going to be upset. And they played literally a 10 to 15 second clip of everything that happened between the Chiefs and the Bills.
Yeah, I do have some good news for you Chiefs fans out there, and that was that the headline on the ESPN app just a couple of hours ago was that history says the Chiefs will likely lose, and they're trying to say why it's so hard to repeat as Super Bowl champs. So thank you, ESPN, for jinxing the Bucks. That might be just the only thing that we needed.
Well, Jason, I don't know if you know about this. I don't know why they're saying they're likely to lose. Because did you guys realize that the AFC, since the year 2000, is 5-0 in an election year? We had an election year, and the AFC team is in the Super Bowl. They're 5-0 in the last 20 years.
I like that.
And so in the election year, the Chiefs are then due to continue that streak.
So, yes, what do we know about gambling, Mike? When you see a streak, you let it ride.
You let it ride. You ride the streak. And so the Chiefs then actually likely, just based on that information, since we're all being subjective here, should get the victory.
Hey, I got one more for you. Who has more pressure into this game? Guess what? It's not the Chiefs. It's the Tampa Bay Buccaneers trying to be the first team to win at their home field in the Super Bowl. They could be, not only are they the first team to play at home in the Super Bowl and be a home team, but they got to win.
And they got a lot of
They
guys.
gotta win.
They got a lot of guys that have never played in a Super Bowl. I mean, yeah, you got Brady and maybe probably Jason
just think of all
Pierre-Paul
that pressure
and who
coming
else?
into
I don't
play.
know, but it's
Yeah,
not
Shaq
a lot
Barrett.
of guys that are experienced.
They have a good defense. They have some
Yes.
talent on defense for sure that I admire. And Antoine Winfield Jr., I think, will be playing as well, the rookie. He was playing phenomenal. He actually is their L'Jarius Sneed. And as we know, he's the son of Antoine Winfield, the great former Minnesota Viking that played for, I don't know, it seems like 15 years or so in the league. But he's a great player. He's coming back this week. I think it'll be something to watch out for.
Oh, yeah. It's going to be exciting. It's going to be a very, very exciting game to watch.
You guys want one more shot? Because I'm going to ask you another question. We talked about this in Week 12, Tanner. What season, or what year, I should say, were the Tampa Bay Buccaneers in the AFC West as a team?
I can't answer this. My mom's watching, so I can't take a shot.
There was only one season.
One season in the AFC West.
Only one season.
In week 12, we talked about this on this show here, and it was 1 year when they first came into the NFL. They went to the AFC West, and they were a team for
I'm
1
going to
season.
throw a year out for you. I'm going to throw a year out.
Is someone looking it up right now? Is that why?
No,
I
no,
can't
no.
see from here.
Nobody's looking up.
Guaranteed it was after I was born, but probably when I was like 3 or 4 years
so
old.
I'm
It was
gonna
before
go-
you were born.
I'm going to
Before I
go.
was born.
Yeah, it's before you were born.
Hold on.
75.
Oh, you're 1 year off.
Dude, it's 74. I
to do a
was going to say 74.
Do a shot. Do a
Do a
shot.
shot.
Let's
Do
do
it.
it. All right, I'll do a shot.
76, boys and girls.
76? That was the year
Yeah.
before I was born.
Dang it.
Oh, year before, right before you were
Yeah,
born.
I was born in 77. That's
Yeah,
too
when you
bad.
told me that, I was like, well, let me do the
It's
math.
too
real
bad
quick.
that we have to do more shots.
All right, Sorry, Mom.
You're apologizing to mom?
Yeah.
Oh.
Why not?
But
Why are you sorry for doing a shot with on air?
Because she knows.
I don't think.
Well, you're
we've-
also drinking whiskey.
Yeah, I don't think we've pointed out the
Shut up.
fact yet that Antonio Brown was upgraded from doubtful to limited. So how do you guys think that affects the game if Antonio Brown actually plays?
Look, there's no effect, man. We're preparing for everybody. It's not going to be who's healthy, who's not. When you get on that field, you're playing football again, and it doesn't matter who's out there. You got to just know your priorities, right? Our secondaries has a lot of work to do. Our defensive line has a lot of work to do to make that secondary help. So it doesn't matter. Antonio Brown, no Antonio Brown. You still have Mike Evans out there. You got Gronk Scotty, it's still going to be a pain.
Most important thing is that Sammy Watkins was also limited, and if we get Sammy Watkins back, that kind of neutralizes Antonio Brown on the other side.
So Ian Rappaport said that Watkins and Bell are on the upside of the limited factor. So it is looking very, very likely that we get Watkins and both Bell back this week.
Yeah, I'm not as worried about Bells and Watkins.
Yeah.
We need to have Watkins back with this team. And the team
Playoff Sammy, baby.
The team stated this week that they would like to have him back for another year. So did you guys hear that recently, actually? The Chiefs are actually interested in retaining him and keeping him if he'd like to stay longer, which he might, I mean, knowing the way his personality is and his injury history. The guy's not reliable on that regard. But when he's on the field, he's a good player. He's very consistent on the field.
Yeah, I'm okay.
I'd take him back again.
I'd take him back, no problem.
I'd be very. If we could get rid of Robinson and keep Pringle instead of Robinson,
Pringle,
and
Sammy.
then maybe draft somebody else to take over
not?
for the back end spot at the fifth receiver.
We still
spot.
got Kemp. I mean, we could keep Kemp.
Sure,
Yeah, I
There's
mean,
Custis, who could be coming up. I don't know.
There's other options
We got
there.
tons of guys.
There's other.
I'm not worried.
options there.
I got to have Lizard Keen on your team. I'd be okay with that, too.
All right, guys, you ready for a final score prediction?
Final score prediction? Oh, boy. Here we go.
All right, Tanner, you begin.
Final score, Chiefs, Bucks. I got Chiefs over the Bucks. And Super Bowl. You know what? We're going to go high score. It's going to be a great game. It's going to go 52-43.
Wow.
Yeah, I don't think that's going to happen. I'm going to go with 31-17 Chiefs. I think the Bucks are going to try to do a little bit too much in their passing game, and they're going to pay for it.
So you're going to go with the under. Then the over-under right now in points for this game is 56. And my original thought when I thought about this game was Chiefs 31, Bucks 24. But when I thought more about this game as time went on, both of these teams are 10-6 on the over. And so basically when it's come down to over-under, both teams reach the over more times than they reach the under on their games that they've had this whole season. And so with that said, I'm going to go with Chiefs 38, Buccaneers 31. And that is my over prediction. Both teams hit the 30s, but I think the Chiefs pull away and they find a way at the end of the game to just control the clock at the end and then get the victory and finish out that way.
Yeah,
So
I
that
think
is
it
my
comes
theory.
down to the final quarter for sure.
Yeah, I just went a little bit lower because I went with 31-17 because I just think, you're in the Super Bowl, you got to shake off a few nerves. So you're not going to see the same output in points that you would during a regular season game.
No, it's gonna be. I mean, it's gonna be interesting.
Well, you're talking about check off nerves. You got two quarterbacks that have been there.
Yeah, but the rest of the Bucs team hasn't been there. So I'm not worried about Brady. Brady's going to show up. But I think also that the Chiefs are going to get to him. And as you know, Brady, I mean, he's a sitting duck. I mean, he does make great decisions. But if, like you said earlier, if Spagnuolo can dial up a few things at the right time to shake him up a little bit, I mean, I think the game could get a little bit out of hand. I don't think it's going to be a blowout. That's why I went with 31-17.
So Hammond asks, will Chiefs have less nerves? By far.
They should have less.
By far.
They should have less overall from being there. And also, if you guys remember this, Tyreek Hill on parade day last year, he said this during his talk when he was up there on the podium after the parade. He was saying, "Hey guys, set your schedules right now for 1 year now, for 1 year from now, 1 year from today. I don't want to hear no excuses for y'all not being here to join this parade."
COVID.
Yeah, COVID. Yeah, all of a sudden, there's a little COVID come up. But Tyreek Hill, his point has been proven, correct? He was talking about, hey, there's no excuses. I'm telling you right now, we're going to be back here doing this exact same thing 1 year from now. Now, that might be a lie, but he's correct in what he was trying to say.
Well, the thing about Tyreek Hill is
ran
like,
it back.
Yeah, Tyreek Hill has zero nerves right now because he just had Scotty Miller call him out and say, "I can beat you as a white guy in a foot race." And Tyreek Hill just kind of said, okay, yeah,
cool.
I think he's a really good player. And that was his only answer.
That's his only answer.
I mean, he had nothing else to say, and so I think
Tyreek did say, hey, let's do it at halftime.
Do you know what Scotty Miller's 40 time is by chance?
4-3?
It's better than Sammy Watkins, but not as good as Micheal Hardman.
It's a 4.39 is what he
4.39.
ran.
Yes, so Micheal
So
Hardman
right
is
there
faster.
at 4.4. Miller's fast, of course, that's great, but Tyreek Hill is like a 4.19.
There's a lot of
guy.
fast guys in the NFL.
Yeah.
I don't care about that 40.
Tyreek's
time.
0.2 of a second faster than the 40. Just It's what it is.
All right, hey, we're gonna go MVP on this. We're gonna say who's MVP.
Sure. What's your thought?
My MVP thought. Darrell Williams.
That's your MVP for the game?
MVP, baby. Clyde, Bell aren't factor.
Against the number one run defense.
Number one
2 years
run
going,
defense. That's
You're
why
going to
he's
go
the MVP,
Darrell
dude.
Williams to be the MVP.
That's why he's MVP.
That's an interesting prediction.
That's fine. That's a little
far-fetched.
That's a little bizarre. I'm going to go with Mahomes boy, a.k.a. Patrick Mahomes.
Do you have anybody other than Mahomes that you
Patrick
can
Mahomes.
pick?
I mean, it's got to be Kelsey. If you're going
maybe
to pick
Kelce.
another guy, it's got to be Kelsey.
I'm going to go, if you besides Mahomes, because that's my pick, Tyreek Hill again. I'm going to go Tyreek Hill to blow up once
Okay,
again.
that
They
makes
just
it
can't
interesting.
stop him. And I think the linebackers in Tampa Bay are fast. They are very
They are
fast.
fast.
And they will keep up with Kelsey fairly well. But I think Tyreek Hill just gets open. Like, I don't think he's the guy. I mean, he is the wasp. He is the jet chip wasp.
Are we gonna see that wasp?
You know what I mean? Let's run wasp
Do
one
we got
more
time
time.
for the wasp?
Let's run wasp one more time and see what happens over there in Tampa Bay.
Yeah, like I said, he's already been called out by Scotty Miller, so he's probably internally really pissed right now, and he wants to just torch these guys.
Hey guys, we got a few of you guys watching here. What are your MVP's thoughts of who will be the MVP on Sunday?
Yeah, we'll take any
So let us know.
any conversational pieces here going forward. We have another few minutes left, but yeah. Otherwise, as far as this game goes, I mean, I'm just excited for it.
I feel great.
I'll
I
be
feel
going
great.
down to I don't know what you guys are doing exactly yet. I know Jason, you're wanting to hang out with your wife and your daughter. Tanner, you're probably doing something very similar.
Yeah.
I'm going down to hang out at the bullpen with some friends.
The
And
bullpen.
My girlfriend got us a reservation down there.
Nice.
So we'll be hanging out down there with a group, as well as her friends are going to be there too. So it'll be like probably a group of total of like probably 10 to 12.
Hey, that's illegal.
And I know
man.
the bartender too.
That's illegal.
So
You can't more than 10 in a party.
Here's the thing, guys. If at all possible, try to do the same exact thing that you did last year, because you don't want to change anything up.
dude, last year I was at
Change the-
Sage
do
for
the-
10 hours.
That's fine. That's fine. But if we can all just try to do the same thing that we did last year, you might just get the same result.
Well, I know what you're doing and why you're doing it. I am not going to go to Saints for 10 hours again. That was extreme.
That was a long
Don't
time.
go there for 10 hours. Just maybe go there for 30 minutes.
It's not a lot.
At least
It's
you
true.
can say you were there.
No, I was there for they opened at whatever time. I was the first.
You get pregame.
first
Do a
few people
pregame
to
at
walk in.
Saints. You can
Oh,
say you
man.
were there.
He doesn't need to be there
That's
again.
extreme.
Real quick, guys, we got some things coming in here. Hammett says Kelsey. Mr. Adam Adriano says Patrick and Kelsey. Grayson Jarrett says Brady. Why Brady? Come on.
No, that's not going to happen.
Going
You're not
with
going to
Brady.
have a. You're not going to have a
this-
losing player win the MVP. In
Well,
this
we had
game.
it one time happen. I told you guys earlier. That's why you had to do a shot. Chuck Howley for the Dallas Cowboys had to he won MVP on a losing team in Super Bowl V. That's why
And,
you guys did a shot
That
earlier.
would never happen against Patrick Mahomes.
Right, not in today's age, anyways.
Oh.
I mean, unless we're saying that the Chiefs are going to lose, then Patrick Mahomes could win the MVP as a losing team. That's the only way that could pan out in this game.
I mean, Mahomes is going to win MVP. To me, there's no doubt
Right.
about that. Like unless Tyreek Hill has 5 touchdowns on his own somehow, then Mahomes is going to win MVP. But
Mahomes boy.
we have any other questions over there, Tanner?
Eric just corrects me. That's not a law, the 10 to 12 people. It's just against city code. My bad.
City code for what?
The more than 10 to 12 people in your party.
Oh,
You not,
well, I heard
where are you?
Well, I was also like, well, it's a Super Bowl, so shut up, Tanner, is what I was thinking.
Oh,
so.
okay, that's fine.
Yeah, that's what I was about.
And Grayson thinks the Bucks will win. Sorry. So that's fine.
So the other thing I want to ask you guys out there in the Twitter sphere is, do you guys think that this is the torch passing ceremony? Do you think this is officially Tom Brady passing the torch to Patrick Mahomes, because their record right now is 2-2 against each other? So something's got to give, and we all believe that Mahomes is going to win the game. So do you guys think that this is kind of like a torch passing ceremony?
Yeah, I think it is.
I don't think so. I
do you
think
mean, Tanner?
we'll see Brady again. We'll see
Well,
Brady
he
again.
could be back again, but this is still
No, it's
the,
not
the
still
goat
torch.
giving it
No,
to the kid.
No.
And the kid, if the kid wins,
Nope.
which we all know that a kid is a baby goat.
Maybe in 3 years when Brady comes back and Mahomes plays, then he retires after that. But not
Tanner,
this
if
year.
Patrick Mahomes goes out and fairly beats Tom Brady in a Super Bowl.
That's the
Still-
passing.
That
of
is the passing
That's
of the
not
torch
passing the
from
torch.
the old to the new.
You're saying that Brady's going to win, that the Bucks are going to
When
win.
Brady retires, no, Brady's not going to win. When
That's
Brady
the only way
I
that
don't
he
get it.
doesn't pass the
What do
torch.
you mean doesn't pass the torch? A torch being passed.
I
is,
just said-
hey kid, I'm not going to be back here forever or forever.
I just
now.
said if Mahomes wins,
No.
Brady is passing the torch.
No,
so
he's not
you're
passing
saying
the
that
torch.
Brady is going to win the game.
No, he's not passing the torch because he's going to be back to play into the Super Bowl.
Again?
And then, yes, Brady will.
Okay, but that's fine.
can see
That's
that.
Still,
I can
that's,
see
I think,
that,
I think
but
we
this
have
game-
two different definitions of passing the torch.
43-year-old Tom Brady
Yes.
passing it to
No,
25-year-old
I understand what he's
We
saying.
have two
because-
different definitions.
I understand what he's saying because Brady has vowed that he will play until age 45.
Over
But you're
age
still,
45.
he's
I believe
still
that.
going to lose the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Which means he is
That's
passing
not
the
me. He's
torch.
passing the torch.
Tanner, he's going to lose
Yes,
it to.
it is.
He's not losing it to a random quarterback. He's losing it
No.
to what is potentially the best new quarterback of all time.
When he loses it at the age of 46, 47 to Patrick Mahomes again, then it's passing the torch saying, hey, kid, I'm out of the league. You got it.
Right. So let me ask you another thing, Tanner, because we've
It's like
talked
Rocky
about,
or something, you know?
We've talked about this before. So you think that if Brady loses this game, that it actually hurts his legacy? Can you
No.
explain that a little bit better?
It doesn't hurt anything. Brady's already the best. He doesn't need to prove anything else.
Because I thought you said it was going to hurt his legacy.
No, it's not hurting anything
Okay.
for Brady.
All right. So you changed your mind on that. That's good.
Gosh. We have two different definitions.
I'm glad I convinced you on that.
Two
All
different
right, do we have any more questions over there? We're going to wrap this thing up here.
No, there's nothing else here.
All right. Well, I appreciate you guys for following along with us today and giving us a follow on the YouTube and everything. But
First off, Eric, my brother, comes in and says he can't pass the torch until he retires. Thank you.
like, is this not like an omen?
This is
of
not
some
an
kind?
omen. This is not a
No,
retirement.
this is not an omen of some kind
No.
of thing where it's like
No.
It's like if the young
It's just
goat,
another
who we
epic
know
battle coming into play
we
against
know
the
Mahomes
goat and the mini goat.
Mahomes now has 2 Super Bowl rings.
And Mike does suck at ping pong,
And,
Dad.
and
so,
well, I've never lost to Eric, so that's a different story for a
well,
different day.
Tim said that.
What?
Tim.
Oh, well, never mind. I've lost to Tim many times, but that's a different story for a different day.
Bond said this.
But no, I feel like this is a game where if Mahomes now goes 3-2 all time against Brady, and we both know that those first 2 losses were dog shit, and that Mahomes should have won both, it should be 5-0.
No. If Brady retires after this game, yes, it's passing the torch. If not, dude, it's not.
Okay,
happening.
I'm going to give you a different reason why this is the passing of
It's
the
not
torch.
passing the torch.
Okay? A different reason. If Mahomes wins, guess what? He's undefeated in the Super Bowl. What do we always say on this show about guys who are undefeated in championships? That means,
You're the
yes, Tom Brady, 6-4, Patrick Mahomes undefeated. That is technically a passing of the torch.
We'll see. We'll see what happens after this, guys.
Mahomes has another 15 years to go in this league. Brady
But he's
has
still undefeated.
maybe a couple.
He'll be undefeated.
He'll be
I mean,
2-0.
It's a passing from the real true GOAT, which is Tom Brady, to the new GOAT,
Hey, Matt.
which
how you
is
doing?
Patrick Mahomes.
All right, it's a good discussion.
It's a good discussion. Maybe we'll have
say-
that future
Hey
on.
guys, how about
Two
we
of
do
the three
the,
of
how
us
about we do this
agree on
discussion
that.
next Wednesday? Does that sound good?
You know,
We could do
we
that.
might be able to do that.
Next Wednesday we'll talk about this again because then we'll know if it was. Maybe Brady walks up to Mahomes after the game and literally hands him a torch and knows that, hey, good job, you are the new man of town.
We should do this next week and have this argument for about like a half an hour straight, and then we're going to do shots.
The whole time.
Yeah,
whole
do
time.
shots during the entire 30-minute
May-
argument.
Maybe next week we can get some other people on the call. Maybe we can get Connor back, you know?
Basically, if you say the word GOAT, do a shot. Is what we'll play a game of that.
We'll play a tricky game. You say the word goat, do a shot. Ban Eric Dawson from the stream. I'm in. Let's do it.
Who said that?
Matt Stewart. So
Oh, God.
he has a fair point.
All right. Well,
Anyways, all right, guys.
I gave my input. We gave our predictions for the game. The Chiefs are back in the Super Bowl, going to win again, back to back. And then guess what? If we win this one, we're going to go for a three-peat.
Guys,
Just like Michael
telling
freaking
you.
Jordan.
enjoy the game, enjoy the weekend, enjoy the days leading up to it, and hopefully, when we should, enjoy the celebration afterwards.
All right, you guys heard it here first. 31-17 Chiefs and Deshaun Watson to the Raiders next year.
All
This
right.
is JG. Thank you for joining us. I'm out.
All right. I will see you guys on the next one.
See you guys.